Oh gosh. You can kind of see what, I don't know why I've got this tablecloth on here. Not very helpful, is it? Well, it won't be for me anyway. Ah, welcome. Welcome to the sew along part 3 of the Peggy trousers. And sorry that it is a little bit late. It wasn't last week, but it's yeah, it's getting very busy on the field. And yeah, I was just so tired last week. So I wanted to yeah, just have a quiet night. But I'm here today and we are going to finish the Peggy dress trousers. Peggy dress trousers. Peggy trousers. I have got mine here. So just to recap on what we did, we basically finished the fly. So we did the fly and we then, oh, I've got a little mark there, that's annoying. We did the fly and we put the zip in and everything. So we're just going to do the side seams. So what we're doing is we're going to place the side seams together and join them on the outer leg seam. So we're going to literally line them up at the top and come all the way down to the hem, placing the right sides together, and yeah, basically we've got the basic right sides together. We've already sewn the darts. I think we did that as well at the end of the last session. So we sewed the darts on the back trousers, and then I'm very annoyed that my pattern matching is not really pattern matching. It's kind of, but it's kind of not. These are going to become a working toile. I have decided they are not perfect. I'm so glad that I didn't use my super expensive fabric. I bought this beautiful wool fabric from the new craft house, and I didn't use it because I just knew that it would be, I need to just check the fit. And so, Coco, you shouldn't be eating that. That's Poppy's food. So yeah, so I just thought, well, I should not, I don't want to make them out the best fabric, but I do hope that I will wear these. I mean, I do really like them. And because they're tartan and we're getting into spring, I'm like, oh, I hope the weather stays a little bit wintry for a bit longer. Hi, Vanessa. Because I want to be wearing these. So just a few of you joined so far, but if you feel confident, do say hi. Nice to see who's joining, who's tuned in. Just going to go around to the other side. So I've flipped it so that I'm now pinning on this side. I was pinning from the back, and on this side I'm pinning from the front, just so I keep my pins on the left side and then the open edge on the right. Where are you going, Coco? Coco is now too posh to go through the cat flap, apparently. She will not go through. She likes me to open the back door for her. Very annoying. Hello, darling. You gonna come up here? Oh, here she comes to say hello. Come say hi to everyone. Yeah? Oh, onto the ironing board, her favourite place. You like it up there, don't you? Well, I will be needing it soon. So when you do trousers, sometimes you join the crotch seam first, and sometimes you do what we're doing and you kind of stitch the leg seams first. It varies really, and there isn't actually a right or wrong way. It's just whatever. Hi there. It's just whatever you want to do, whatever is easiest. But with this one, we've done a fly. It's actually easier to do it this way round. I know, because then you can finish the kind of, you slot them in and you finish the front of the seam of the trousers as well at the same time. You'll see when we get to it. So it makes more sense to do it like this. Okay, you need to not block so that people need to be able to see what I'm doing, darling. And that is very not helpful. I'll move her in a second, everybody. Oh dear, Coco. What do you like? Right, you need to move out the way, darling. There we go. I'm wearing what I call my human highlighter tonight. This is a tracksuit that I bought from Marks and Spencer's when the lights did not show how bright it was, and actually it has been washed, so it's a few times, so it's not quite as bright as anymore. But I remember when I first started, I got it home and I tried it on and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to wear sunglasses every time I wear this tracksuit because it is so bright. It was literally fluorescent when I first bought it. And so me and Jazzy called it my human highlighter. And before we started on the sew along, I just actually called Jazzy, and she said, "Mummy, why are you wearing your human highlighter today?" I was like, "I don't know, I just want." Well, I didn't wear it today, so I just got home and I wanted to wear something really comfy, and yeah, I went for the human highlighter to brighten everyone's day. Right, I'm just feeling with my feet the foot pedal, and if it's the right way up. There we go. It is now. Okay, so we've got a seam allowance of 1.5 centimetre, 5/8 of an inch. Oops. And I've changed my stitch length to 3, which is what I prefer to sew with just for regular seams on my machine. Ooh, that's clunky. Clunky. Making a little bit of a funny noise. Where's that? And here, it's like the bobbin inside is a bit loose. Little bit clunky. I wonder if the timing's slightly out. Anyway, it's sewing nicely. So we're just going down the side seams. Nice, easy bit of sewing. So the outer side seams, rather, well, side seams are the side seams, aren't they? It's not the inner leg seam. Okay. Getting close to the hem. Can you hear that clicking? Very annoying. Click, 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 click. It's probably more noisy for me than it is for you, but still, it's very disconcerting. Why are you making this noise? Hum. I finished my familiar jacket finally on Friday at our sew club. So the sew club was something that I tried I want to sort of see if it could be something we could do regularly, but I don't think it will be. I mean, we did have some people come, which was lovely, but it wasn't really enough to make it financially. I just covered my costs really, but also I now am into my busy period with the flowers, so maybe I'll do it again in the autumn or when the things go next winter. But because it was quite quiet this time, I took some sewing just for me to do if no one needed my help. Oh, the bobbin has run out, that's why it was making that noise. And I finished it. I absolutely love it. So I need to do a little video of me wearing it. I thought actually on Friday I'm going to go to the Knit and Stitch show actually. I don't know if any of you watching are going to that, but it's not called that anymore, is it? It's called the Stitch Show or something. But anyway, at the Business Design Centre in Islington. I'm going there on Friday morning, and I think I might wear it. So I just need to think about what I'm going to wear it with. But I absolutely love it. It looks so good. And the zip does do up, although it's a good thing that I probably won't wear it done up because it's a bit, I wouldn't want to be using the zip a lot, given that I had to fudge and join the bottom bit on. So, but yeah, it looks really nice. It was a really good fabric to make it in. It just shows the Amelia jacket works with a kind of Melton wool. It's what is probably the closest to what I described the wool I used. So that's really good. Now, of course, I've got a bit of a bug. Now that I've made one, I'm like, ooh, I quite like to make a little denim one for the, or like a suedette one. Ooh, a suedette one. Yeah, a suedette one for the spring. So yeah. Ooh, there we go. Right. I've still got loads of other things that I want to. So I've still got that really nice actually as well. I completely forgot about that. I bought some wool jersey, navy wool jersey, for me to make another one of the roll neck tops because I love that. But yeah, my sewing is just, it's definitely quietened down. And I guess because we're coming out of winter, it's that sort of funny time, isn't it, with sewing projects where you're like, okay, well, there's probably not much point in me doing loads more wintry makes. So you've got that, but you're not ready to do summery makes. So it's kind of separate. So I always think are quite good for this time of year. Or dresses that would work. I still haven't made the Mabel dress, which I really want to do. So I quite like to make it actually out of like a viscose gingham. Oh, also I saw on Nobody's Child, which is a brand, really cool brand actually, really nice clothes. They had this little kind of two-piece set, and it was like little capri trousers in black gingham and then like a matching kind of vest sort of waistcoat thing, which was worn sort of just like as a sleeveless top, and it looked so cute. And oh my goodness, I was like, that is what I want to wear this summer. I want to be delivering flowers to people in something like that. So ultimate trousers, that will do the bottoms, but I don't know about like it looks like it's kind of round neck, and then it's got buttons up, so it's not like a waistcoat and then it's fitted. But I need to find a pattern for that. There's nothing that I can think of that's so over it would work. I guess I could use, actually, you could use one of the fitted shirt patterns and then just change the neckline. Yeah. Okay, boom, we've done two. Right, let's get this. I think she's just gone out the cat flap. What's a special occasion for you, Coco? There we go. So I'm going to now press these seams open. Just a bit of the overlocking there has come off. Means you can see the human line highlighter in all its glory. Right, so the beauty of doing it this way around is that you can actually press your seams open. There we go. Ooh, lime scale coming out of my iron. So it's easier to press them open, obviously, before you do. It's important to press at this stage because you're not going to be able to get in and press like this once you've done your inside leg seam, which is the next thing we're going to do. What's everyone sewing at the moment? Who is sewing anything for spring weather? Tell me what you're sewing. Inspire me. Give me some ideas of what would be good. Okay, there we go. Now, I need to close this zip up actually. So now what I'm going to do, when we've got that, is we're going to run the inside leg seams together. So again, keeping it right sides together. Let's try and move that out of the way so you can sort of see more clearly. Take that curve of the crotch there, lining up that top part and working down towards the hem. So we pin from the top and go down, and there are notches along the way, but I have to say I have not been used to mine because my overlocking stitch is quite tight, so it is definitely hidden some of these notches. So I am getting ready for Mother's Day on the field, in that yeah, we basically, it's our first big thing. So I've almost got fresh flowers. In fact, I don't know if you can see, hi there. I don't know if you can see behind me, but there are some flowers in the mirror there. I've started to get fresh flowers, just a few. But I think I will have, well, I know I'll have them for Mother's Day. So, yeah, just trying to make sure I've got all my packaging, all my flower boxes. So I do mail order, I should say, actually. I should have said that. If anyone wants to try out my Jazzy Rose flowers, you can go to jazzyroseflowers.com and pre-order Mother's Day flowers. And I've got everything from mixed bouquets, sort of anemones and daffodils and tulips to just tulips. And lots of different price points. So I like to always make sure there's something for everybody. I don't want to be something that's not inclusive in pricing, which is something that was always important to me. So over it as well, I wanted to make sure there was always something that everyone could afford. Well, not everyone, but you know what I mean, that was not just really expensive things. Okay, that has, those are both done, yes. Yes. Okay, so let's just whip round. Oh, yeah, bit fun. Unfortunately, yes, UK only. UK only for the flowers. Right, let's just whiz down here. So I'm just starting at the top, like I said, 1.5 centimetre seam allowance, 5/8 of an inch. And we're just whizzing ourselves down the leg, the inside leg seam, right sides together. Taking our pins out as we get to them, and we're enjoying the fact that the bobbin is not as noisy. It's a little bit noisy though. Definitely isn't as noisy as it was. Side, and so we'll press this open after we've done this, and then we're going to slot them inside from one another. Inside, we're going to slot basically the legs one into the other. It's always exciting because at this point, that is when we actually have trousers, and we don't have flappy bits that are just not actually, yeah, it's really hard to kind of, when you first make trousers, I think this part is always the hard, kind of trying to get things the right way around. And I made a pair of trousers when I was 9. I made a skirt first, and then I made a pair of trousers. I don't know what I did to them, but they were not 2 tubes for legs at the end. It was, yeah, unwearable. I think I sewed the crotch up so you can actually get the leg in. Anyway, very frustrating. But back then we weren't able to watch anything. We just had to try and work it out. And those instructions, my gosh, they weren't easy. And there was like some kind of mail order thing where you could, you know, you got a folder, it's like a magazine, and then you got inserts every month or something, and it would build up kind of your sewing knowledge. I did have that, and it sort of had like patterns, I think it had patterns in it, but it was all incredibly dated and definitely not things that an 11-year-old wanted to make. Right, so when we're pressing open this inside leg seam, we just want to be careful that we're not pressing creases into the anywhere else in the trousers, and that we're just pressing the seam. So just use the point of the iron. I don't think you can really see what I'm doing, but try and just use the point of the iron. And then I'll just quickly do the other one. So yeah, I hope that I'll finish this weekend. Okay. Now, this is when it gets a bit confusing. So what we need to do is drop one leg into the other. So I'm going to turn this leg right way round, like so, and I'm going to put my arm in it like that, and then I'm going to get the other leg and I'm going to insert it into it. And that will mean that our crotch seams are right sides together. Okay, so there's the fly that we sewed, and we've got to finish off from the bottom there, and then the back centre back seam is not sewn. So that's what we're going to pin now. So we'll start, I'm actually just going to start by lining up those inner leg seams. So just peel back, make sure you can see that they're lined up, keep your seam pressed open and pop them in. Pins just to keep those seams pressed open, and then I'm going to pin this bit. This is going to be fiddly just to get right up into that point. Oh, sorry, not that point, so from here. That's sewn already, isn't it? Yeah. So we're just going to pin from where at the end. I forgot that I've sewn that bit. I've already sewn a little bit at the bottom of the fly, which is good. When I popped onto my Lisa Comfort Instagram this evening before I came onto this, and saw that someone had made the vintage shirt dress hack, and it looked so nice, and they made it in like a really lovely soft viscose, and it was so nice to be tagged in something of one of your makes from the sew-alongs that I've done. So it made me very happy, so thank you very much. I can't remember, I should have made a note of who it was. It was not very helpful, was it? Sewing Obsession, was it? Anyway, can't remember. But yeah, it was nice to see. In fact, I'll repost it and then you can have a look at it. Right, so let's start. So again, we've got a seam allowance of 1.5 centimetres again. We're going to overlap from where the stitching at the bottom of the fly is. So we've already sort of started that bit. So we're going to finish that. And then continue round this curve. Now you might find that you need to stop and do it in a few different because that curve there is really quite acute. So if you need to lower your needle and pivot and do it in a few stages, that's fine. I'm cutting to that point here as well, actually, on the back. It's not as, yeah, it's a bit of an easier curve. There's a bit more fabric to play with to pull it round. But I definitely finding that doing it in a few little sections is helping. Now, seat seams do often get reinforced by a second stitching, because if you think how much you're sitting up and sitting down, so the seat seam's the back centre back seam, But I'm not going to do that on mine now because I still need to check that these fit me. So I wouldn't want to kind of double that seam until I know it's absolutely right. And to be honest, that's something you can do at the end anyway. You can always go back in and just strengthen that little seam there on the back and stitch it again. Okey-dokey, and there we are, finishing at the waist. Let's trim those off, and then we can press that open as well. Very exciting. I'm going to pull those trousers back out now. And ideally you slot this onto the end of your ironing board, but I can't get out easily, so I'm not going to do that. You might want to use a pressing ham. Okay, let's do the front bit. I can quickly do the rest later. Okay. We've got trousers. Turn them the right way round. Da, 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 da. Okay, so trousers are going to go to one side, and I am going to, ouch, I'm just going to quickly check these instructions, but we're going to do this facing now for the waist. So, interfacing, that's it. So we're going to match the side seams. So yeah, the side seams are marked with a little notch. So I think there's notches on, just gonna check, yeah, there's notches on both those there, but there should be a little notch, there we go, marking that, and a notch marking that. So we're going to take the waistband facing and place it right sides together and line up the short ends and make sure that your notch is aligned, so you know it's that edge because there's a notch there. That's just unfused. Okay, so we're going to sew this with a 1.5 cm seam allowance, yeah. So little reverse at the beginning. I'm actually sliding off my seat. Back on. I have one bottom cheek on, one bottom cheek off. Actually got the elastic to finish this, but that's quite easy threading the elastic through. I feel like I can leave that. You guys will be able to do that without me. Okay. So we'll just press those open. And then I believe, I wonder if I can do this, yes, a bit more into shot, because we've got to also then press up the bottom edge of the facing by 1 centimetre, so that when we finish it, it's just easier to press that before. You often do that with waistbands as well. Da, da, da. On the two short ends and the long lower edge with the wrong sides together, press, oh, we're doing it at the shorter edges as well. So at these shorter ends, we're going to fold that over by 1 centimetre and press that. And we're going to do the same on that end and press. And then we're going to press up here by 1 centimetre. Now, I've still got 1 centimetre ingrained in my head, but if you haven't, then just have a tape measure to hand and just use the metal end. Just be careful you don't accidentally melt the tape measure. We've all done it on the iron, but just keep checking so you know what that centimetre is. You can also get those amazing little metal things, can't you? Those little handy metal rulers, the short ones that you can check. Okay, so that's pressed along that bottom edge and the short edges too. So now taking the waistband, sorry, the waist edge, so we lay it like that, taking the waist edge, and we're going to align the notches and the darts. The left hand side will align with the zip and the right hand side will align flush with the seam allowance 3 centimetres from the edge. Yes, that's right. Okay, because that is already finished at the top of the zip there, that was neater. I need to pull that out a bit more. But because that's already finished, that top edge there, we don't need to, we're not lining up, it kind of finishes at that little jut point there, yeah? So, this though is going right up to the seam allowance. And then, yeah, we've got notches that are aligning. Oh, I didn't do my pleat on that side, did I? Why have I not done that? We knew it together and then I just decided not to do it. Yes, I will quickly just do that. Whoopsie daisies. I was just thinking, oh, that looks a bit flat. Why is that? I think we must have done one together and I thought I'd done them both, but no. Let's just mark from that one how long they are. Okay. Quick. Coco, as you can see, has just made an entrance. Back through the cat flap, Coco. Cat flap used twice. Special occasion. So I know these aren't pressed, but we can press them actually. Let's press it quickly. The iron is right there. Pressing them to the side seam, sorry, to the inside seam, towards the centre front. So it's going that way. Okay. Now it's all lining up. Yes. Is there another one? Yes, there is, isn't there? How many side seams have we got? How many pleats have we got? Lisa. What side to go? Repeat, perfectly press the pick and place machine tap. Yeah, there is only one. 2 outer pleat lines. Yeah, okay, let me just see what's going on this side. Why is that not lining up with its notch? It might just be that I've cut the notch in the wrong place. Hi, Coco. Hello. Yeah, it's fine, just needs a bit of easing in. I think my notch is just slightly out. She's now sitting on the ironing board, having a little snuggle. So yeah, I've got a little bit of stretching, so I'm just easing that in. And then we've got darts on the back. Really, you should, before you're doing this facing, you do want to try them on and check. And your darts on the back should be going pressed towards the centre back. I always put a pin in at that point just to keep it back, just like it was a seam allowance, just to make sure that that's going to stay in its right position, because we'll be sewing it from the waist facing side and we're not going to see what's happening underneath or feel as easily. So I'm just going to do the same with that next one. And I'll just fill it in. Okay. We're all lining up now. Put the rest of those pins in. Just that bit there, yeah, it was a bit annoying on that side, just needed a bit of easing. Anyway. Okay, so that's now all pinned all the way around. So we're going to sew that, and let's just check, but I'm pretty sure it'll be a centimetre seam allowance, centimetre and a half, sorry. No, I'm glad I checked. It's a 1 centimetre. Stitch the face in place with a 1 centimetre seam allowance. Oh yes, we know it is because we've left 1 centimetre there. Okay. No, Coco, not helpful. So start at the left side of the fly, of the zip, and we're going to follow the 10 centimetre on the base of the machine. Around we go, and just making sure that all your darts are in the pleats are facing the right way. The fold of the pleat on the back should be facing towards the fly front. Then we're coming up to side seams, waist seams, side seams, not side seams of both the waist, the waist facing and the trousers. Got a lot of threads here. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I'm just going to cut them. There's a bit too many threads there. It's just fraying this fabric. So make sure they're pressed open. Now I am coming down towards the back. So we've got our first dart. That's in the right direction. That's where it's going to be easier to get this right because we're facing the dart's coming towards us because it's coming towards the centre back. And then we've got centre back pressed open seam there. Make sure that's still pressed open as you're going over that. And then we're coming to the next back side seam. Make sure those seams are pressed open. We're just coming up to the other side of the zip now. So it should be lining up with that edge where it just finishes just before the fly starts, that little bit that sticks out. So it's going to line up like that. I need to make that sharper, but you can see. What's that bit there? That's a piece of trimming. Okay, so that is the facing on. And I think we need to understitch, yes. So what we're going to do now is fold up the seam allowance towards the facing, and we're going to understitch that So when I understitch, I line up the seam that I've just sewn in the middle of the presser foot, and then I move the needle over to whichever side is the side I'm understitching on. So for this purpose, it's on the right, and then we don't press before we understitch. We understitch and then we press afterwards. So therefore, you are going to have to keep feeling and making sure that that seam allowance is facing up towards the facing as you go. Very upset today, so I've been learning about growing edible flowers, and edible flowers are obviously edible, and when you pick them, a bit like salad, people don't always wash them, so you've got to be super hygienic when you're picking them, and one of the stipulations is that you can't have nail varnish, although I need to check with environmental health. Is shellac okay? I imagine it's a surface that carries germs. So my nails are going to have to go once the flowers come for the edible. The edible flowers will be here at sort of June time. I'm very upset about that. I'm done. It's very speedy, isn't it, these? Okay, so yeah, okay, I think right now we fold this back. I need to stand up for this to get myself height. Is it going that way? No, it's going down here, isn't it? So it comes, the full width of the facing is coming back down like that. And then I believe we're going to top stitch to create essentially a waistband. So if I can do it actually sitting down here like that with you so you can see. It's hard for you to see though, isn't it? So we're folding the waist facing in, pressing it down and pinning it like that. And what we're going to then do is probably flip the pins to the other side. And then we create a channel for the elastic. You can hear Coco scratching the back of a chair. So I'm just checking here. Pin through all the layers. Don't pin through the pleats to the centre front. Elastic won't be inserted into this section, so ensure it lays flat. Oh yeah, that's right. So the elastic isn't, it's more flattering. I remember this in our design, that we didn't do the elastic all the way round. We left it at the front, so it's flat over the tummy. So we're basically only going to stitch this down up to the pleats for the elastic. And then I guess it's going to get stitched down afterwards. So here's, oh, that's the side seam, there's the pleat. Okay. So where the pleat stitching is basically where we stop. So I need to just move that pin out on the other side where I started and put it in there. So I've not pinned that part, just this bit. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to open that zip up, and we are going to work from this side because we're going to edge stitch. So you could put an edge stitch foot on if you wanted to, and I'm going to because I don't get to use it very often, and I do like it. So I'm just going to put that needle back to the middle position. I think I have to move it on mine. Let's see. And I'm going to go to that first pin, which is basically where the stitching of the pleat is. I'm going to line that with the edge, and then I'm going to move the needle accordingly. Okay, if you're worried about this, because we are kind of going straight into, I'm going to come through from the other side. If you're worried that your width of this from the top of the waist to where you're, if you're worried that, for example, your ironing wasn't perfect and that distance is not going to be parallel, then you can measure when you're pinning it over, and you can also you could also tack it by hand if you wanted to. Because if I think this was my pair of trousers that I was, where's it not stowing? If I was feeling a bit more precious about this pair of this fabric, I might do that. But because this is dark fabric, it's not going to show as much as it would on a light fabric. And also I am treating these a little bit like a toile, but you certainly want to make sure you're not ruining the finished look right at this end stage. So do go more carefully than I have. I've just done it quickly because I want to try and get as much done in this sew along as possible. But if I was making these fabric, then perhaps I'd do that a little bit more carefully. Just coming back to that first dart on the back. Just make sure that that's sitting the same way that you've stitched it, so the dart facing towards the centre back seam. Almost at that pin on the other side. Just got a little bit of extra there, just catching that down. Oh, I love an edge stitch. Okay, so that is edge stitched all the way around, and therefore created a channel. You see that? And so that channel needs to be a little bit thinner. We actually now create another row of stitching that is I believe it's 3 centimetres up from there. Yeah, okay, so this is one I wish I had. I think I've got a little ruler in here. I did have, yes, I do. So I'm going to get my chalk, find it. This is why I have a clear bag. So supposedly I can find everything, although I left my chalk somewhere. It looks like I have. It's not in there. That's upsetting. Okay, well, I'm gonna just for the. I don't even have a white pencil, which I do normally. Okay. We're gonna have to do this with pins. Risky business. So, I'm going to mark 3 centimeters and I'm going to put a pin. Already this is going to annoy me because that pin is going in the wrong direction. So I'm going to use pins instead. So that means that these pins are going to have to be very close together. So I feel like I'm getting a bit croaky, aren't I? So the elastic that we're going to use is 1 inch, so it's 2.5 centimeters wide, which is why we make this channel 3 centimeters so that it's not too tight. I believe that Rosie has made some Peggy trousers that aren't with the paper bag waist, so I guess she's cut them down. You could do that if you don't want to have them go beyond your waist. You could choose to do that. Really annoying having to do it with pins like this, but I wonder actually if it might be a little bit more accurate, because I probably wouldn't mark it as quite so many close intervals if I was doing this with chalk. I'd just sort of join the dots with a ruler. Almost there. Almost there. Okay, last one. Okay. That is my sewing line. So for this, I'm not going to use an edge stitch foot because we're no longer got an edge to guide us. So I'm just going to go back to the regular foot, and you will aim to put that through, so the middle of the foot where there is a groove on my machine is going right, that's where the needle goes down, going right on the pin line. And then I will have to just go nice and slowly, taking out a pin at a time, just to keep me on that perfect line. Okay, sorry, I'm not talking that much just because I'm concentrating, trying to keep this as straight as I can, and visualising where I can actually see where the pin, when I take the pin out, I can still see the pin marks on the fabric. done. So there is the channel. Let's roll the way around. So then the elastic gets threaded through to that and then gets gathered in and then stitched, closed down, attached into that so that the elastic stays. And then once you've done that, you are just doing a little finishing touches in the hem. And we've made trousers in 3 hours. I literally have not done anything outside of it. And I know I sew very quickly, but just shows you, even if you take double that time, that's really is a manageable project for a day, if you cut it all out before, or a weekend even, and you can have a pair of trousers. The wonders that are sewing. I saw somebody the other day who is new to my life and therefore not seen loads of my sewing things that I've done, or knows that about me, and they just could not believe that the jacket I was wearing, which was the Amelia jacket I had made, that was just, yeah. Anyway, there we go. It is the best feeling in the world, sewing. So I am probably, well, I know I'm not going to come back next week because I have some bits that I've got to do next week, but given that it's Mother's Day, it's just too busy for me. So, and then I'm going away for a week, which I'm really dreading. Well, I'm not dreading, it'll be lovely, but a little holiday with Jazzy, but dreading because I've never gone away at this time in the season before. But when I'm back, I will do some sewing, so stay tuned on my Instagram and I will talk about what I'm going to do then. I guess that'll be in April, so it will be more spring-like, so I'll be looking up for some kind of springy pattern or something to do. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I forgot to put the link in for Buy Me a Coffee, but if you wanted to buy me a coffee, you can. You just go to Buy Me a Coffee, Lisa Comfort. You'll find me on there. And yeah, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.